Hello and welcome to a new rush hour episode of Trains Out, and today we're at Ashton on the West Coast Mainline. We'll be seeing services from Avanti West Coast, London Northwestern Railway, and, with any luck, some freight as well. Conveniently, as I started filming, the alarm went off for the hire firm just there for various groundwork machinery. I've parked myself just there. All is well in my world. There is a lovely little breeze. You can just see the church spire for the village of Hanslope down in the distance. You've got the M1 wind farm there with the turbines doing what they do best. A wheat field waiting to be harvested. And the West Coast Mainline in all of her splendour. So I'm going to stand just about here to catch a pairing of London Northwestern Railway Class 350s passing by. 350 246 and 238 working a service from London Euston to Northampton. So, as the sun starts to break through the clouds, let us see what else shall turn up. Okay, the next train to pass by, well, my voice went high then, is going to be an Avanti West Coast Class 390 going from London Euston to Glasgow Central. City of Coventry 390 136. I do have to say I much prefer looking up the line northbound, as you do get an overall better view, whereas obviously facing this way there's a lot more catenary on the go, but you know, given the fact this is about 5 minutes away from where I live, I'm not really going to complain. Okay, and the next train to pass by will be a duo of London Northwestern Railway Class 350s going from Crewe to London Euston. 350 126 and 429, doing the honours for that one. Could do a little bit of foliage trimming around here. Mind you, it's got to the extent where it's now starting to climb up the catenary masts. I think you might have to come up with the old hedge trimmers to get this lot sorted. I must admit, it does stagger me. When you look at the rail network throughout continental Europe, the verges of the railway are kept pristine, clean. Here, they're kind of left to do their own thing. Okay, our first freight train of the evening is going to be a GBRF Class 66 going from Birch Coppice to London Gateway. And this will be worked by 66 787. Fairly full consist, a couple of battered containers from our favourite company. I'm sure you know which one that is by now. Okay, the next train to pass by should be another duo of London Northwestern Railway Class 350s running from Northampton to London Euston. (253) and 236 with the honours for that one. Now, the next train to make appearance is going to be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pendolino going from London Euston to Manchester Piccadilly. And that'll be worked by 390 153, as we're then going to have the Royal Mail 325s passing by, working the mail train from Wheelsden to Shieldmere. So we have 325 002 leading. No idea about the middle, but 008 brings up the rear. Okay, the next freight train to pass by should be a duo of Freightliner class 90s going from Crewe Bass Hall to Felixstowe. Really giving it some beans. 90014 leading. On the back, plenty of wind being kicked up there when you consider there weren't a great deal of containers on board that train. Okay, the next train to pass by is going to be another Avanti West Coast class 390 Pendolino going from Liverpool Lime Street to London Euston. Treaty of Union 390-009. Okay, the next train to pass by is another duo of 350s. (266) and 376 for London Northwestern Railway, working a service from London Euston to Crewe. Okay, the next train to pass by is going to be another duo of London Northwestern Railway class 350s, going from Northampton to London Euston. (238) and 246, still bearing their former London Midland colour schemes. And then the next train to appear from under the mass of catenary is going to be another Avanti West Coast class 390 Pendolino, going from London Euston to Glasgow Central. And that'll be words by 390-046. Okay, the next train to pass by is going to be another Avanti West Coast class 390 going from London Euston to Liverpool Lime Street. And that'll be words by 390-043. Okay, well, the next train to pass by will be a duo of 319s. 319-219, I think the other one might be 319-214, running from London Euston to Northampton. And then the next train to make an appearance will be another Avanti West Coast class 390 Pendolino going from London Euston to Birmingham New Street. Flying Scousman 390-148. Okay, then the next freight train to pass by, giving it a fair amount of boot, will be a Freightliner 66 going from Ditton O'Connor to Felixstowe North. And this will be worked by 66-420. Not the longest consist in the world, but still brought a fair amount of wind with it for good measure. Okay, the next train to pass by is another duo of London Northwestern Railway class 350s. 264 and 262 working a service from London Euston to Birmingham New Street, almost catching me off guard, as quite a few of them have almost done so far. Okay, and the next train to pass by is going to be another Avanti West Coast class 390 going from Birmingham New Street to London Euston. There's a real flat wheel on this. And that'll be worked by 390-040. I'll keep her rolling as up in the distance will be another freight train. This will be worked by GBRF going from Trafford Park Euro Terminal to Felixstowe North. The wind is always greater on this side. Okay, she's got a right colourful mixture on board, so there'll be a fair amount of wind coming along with this one, I have no doubt. So, this will be worked by 66738. Different sizes, colours, all sorts of container on there bound that train. It's always good to see. Oh, hello. There goes 221113 and 221114 with an Avanti West Coast service off to some far and distant land. No idea. I'll get back to you on that one. Okay, well the next train to pass by should be a duo of London Northwestern Railway Class 350s going from Birmingham New Street to London Euston. The pair of Avanti West Coast 221 Super Voyagers were bound for Edinburgh Waverley. That'll be a nice chance for them to stretch their legs. So, this is going to be worked by 350-248 and 265, going at a rather modest pace as they are chasing the GBRF 66. Okay, the next one to pass by is going to be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 Penzolino, going from Manchester Piccadilly to London Euston. (390-013). There is a name on that one. Oh, blimey. Is it Blackpool Bell? Oh, I've not a clue. It's something Bell. I'm really convinced of it being like Blackpool Bell or something of that nature. Okay, and the next train to pass by is going to be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 going from London Euston to Manchester Piccadilly. Giving it a fair amount of beans. City of Lichfield, 390-011. Okay, and then almost immediately passing by after that is going to be a modest running 390-152 with a lot of brake smoke being kicked up as she's working a service from Glasgow Central to London Euston. You can probably make out the smoke that she's kicked up. So she's hitting the brakes hard. Jesus. Oh, I can smell that. Yep. Jesus, she's really worked those brakes. Cool, blimey. I tell you what, if you could smell this, it's wow. It's one of those brakes was smoking. Wowzers. You know what, I actually can't get enough of that smell. It's I'm getting a high off brakes. There we are then. Breaking news. Okay, the next freight train to pass by is going to be worked by a Freightliner Class 66 going from London Gateway to Garston. Not exactly giving it great guns. I think the term poodling would be quite apt for this particular freight train. So, leading this will be 66,555. Well, I'm not entirely sure why she was going so slow. I'm just wondering if maybe she was signal checked further down the line. Anything I can possibly think of. Okay, and the next train to pass by will be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pendolino going from London Euston to Birmingham New Street. 39157 Chadvara. They're not really going great guns through this section. Normally they're running upwards of 120 through here, but they seem to be going just a wee bit slower this time round. Okay, the next freight train to pass by is going to be another Freightliner 66 going from Felixstowe North to Lawley Street. Just starting to put the power down. Worked by 66,953. Hauling predominantly fresh air. Okay, I've got another 390 passing by. I have no idea where she's going. .020 though. I'll keep her rolling and I shall walk over to my spot as we have a DB Cargo UK Class 66 coming along, working a container train from Trafford Park Euro Terminal to London Gateway. Right, colourful mixture of containers on board, and this will be worked by 66,152. There's a couple of flat wheels on that one. Okay, the next train to pass by is going to be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 going from Edinburgh Waverley to London Euston. The previous 390 was bound for Glasgow Central. And that is worked by 390,112. Giving it a fair amount of welly. Well, I've got another one passing by now. Uh, 390,039. I don't know where that's going. I think that might be a late running service to, oh god, hello. No, we've got a Maritime 66 coming along in the form of 66047. I think so. working a water train from Dollond's Moor to Daventry. And I've got to try and work out where that other 390 was heading off to. I want to say it was a delayed service to Manchester, but I will double check. Oh, and that was 66047. Okay, the next train to pass by is going to be a duo of London Northwestern Railway Class 350s going from Crewe to London Euston. The previous 390 was bound for Manchester Piccadilly, and that was running on time. And there goes 373 and 101. You know, I may as well have not bothered, because we're going to have passing by very slowly 35402, one of the former Transpennine 350s. 35404, another former Transpennine 350. And 35233. That's working a London Northwestern Railway service from London Euston to Northampton. So I didn't even hear it coming until I paused, did an about turn, and then, you know, hey presto. Okay, and then the next train to pass by will be the return of our 319s, giving it some welly from Northampton to London Euston. So that was 219 and 214. Always loved 319s. Got a bit of character to them, much like the 321s. Okay, the next train to disturb the peace will be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pentalino, going from Manchester Piccadilly to London Euston. (39128) certainly not hanging about, causing the local foliage to wobble. That's official terminology for plants moving around in the wind. Wobbling. It isn't, but I'm now saying it is, and therefore it is now, because reasons. You really lost what you were going to say on that one, didn't you? Yes, I did. Oh dear. You're pretty hopeless, aren't you? In a word, yes. Well done. Your first step is acknowledgement. I know. Do you think it will get any better from there on in? No. Not a chance. Alright, fair enough. Anyway, should we get back into the matter at hand? Yeah, go on then. You drive a hard bargain, but I think we should. Yeah, I agree as well. Do you think the viewers agree as well? I'm gonna say yes, that they probably want to see more of the trains and less listening to me rabbiting on. Who knows, they might enjoy the rabbiting on. I've got a feeling they might like the trains more. Do you want to put it to a vote? Nah, let's just go to trains. Alright, we'll do that. Okay, and the next train to make an appearance will be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 going from Liverpool Lime Street to London Euston. 39131, aptly named City of Liverpool. And the next train to pass by is going to be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 Penzolino, running from Birmingham New Street to London Euston. Worked by 390049. Okay, the next freight train to pass by should be a pair of top and tailing Class 66s for Freightliner, going from the Bletchley flyover to Crewe Bass Hall, hauling some auto ballasters. In fact, it looks like it's got a right mixture of wagons on this one. So, leading the way is 66601. with 956 on the rear. Interesting that 956 is actually dead on the rear. They haven't got it under power. Okay, and the next train to snake its way around the bends will be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pendolino. 390-050, complete with a bit of blood splatter on the front, going from Manchester Piccadilly to London Euston. Okay, here we have 350-254 and 251 working a London Northwestern Railway service from London Euston to Crewe, almost catching me unawares. I mean, okay, admittedly, I probably could have stayed at the other side of the bridge, but, you know, that makes things way too easy. And why would I make things easier for myself? Okay, the next train to pass by is going to be another 390. Royal Scot 390-044 working an Avanti West Coast service from London Euston to Lancaster. I've always found that a weird service. I mean, why just stop at Lancaster? You might as well go all the way to Carlisle. Okay, the next train to pass by will be 350-241 and 256, working a London Northwestern Railway service from London Euston to Northampton. The later the evening progresses, the more lovely the weather becomes. I'm certainly not complaining. Okay, the next train to pass by will be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pendolino. 390-137 bound for London Euston. Not the faintest idea where she's come from, so I'll have to double check on that one. Almost caught me off guard. Almost, but not quite. Okay, the next train to pass by will be some more London Northwestern Railway Class 350s going from Northampton to London Euston, running about 6 minutes late. The 390 was from Glasgow to London. And this will be a trio of 350s, so leading the way is 233, 404 and 402. The ones we saw earlier. Okay, the next train to pass by is going to be another Avanti West Coast Class 390 going from, I think, London to Liverpool. City of London 390-138. I'll then keep her rolling, as we're going to have presumably a duo of London Northwestern Railway Class 350s going from London Euston to Birmingham New Street. And this will be worked by former Transpennine 350-401 and 350-110. It's still weird seeing 110 without the 110 vinyls. It's a pity they got rid of them, but oh well. Okay, the next train to make a racket is going to be 353-75 and 234 with a cracking two-toe from the driver there, going from Northampton to London Euston. I wasn't expecting that, that was very last minute, but thank you very, very much. Okay, and our final train of the day is going to be a pair of Avanti West Coast 221 Super Voyagers bound for Wrexham General and Holyhead. (221-108) and (221-102). And as they continue onwards, I shall leave it there. Thank you all very much for watching, it is greatly appreciated. If you have enjoyed what you've seen today, then please do like and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment, I do get back to them as and when I get the opportunity to. Always love filming here, it's a great spot to come to. You do get some good views, you just have to make do with some of the catenary if you're looking south, but if you're looking north, then you do get some rather good views. Not to mention just the views all round anyway. Certainly not a bad little spot to come to. But my next spot will be London King's Cross on the East Coast Mainline. Really looking forward to filming there. Always a good station to go to. So, I'm now going to go enjoy the rest of my evening and probably have a cold beer. So until next time, from me here at Ashton on the West Coast Mainline, I shall see you all later. Take care, guys. Goodbye.